The New Hampshire real estate market has been slowly making a shift over the past year, and really this summer I have seen more and more clues that is showing that the market's shifting a little bit away from the sellers, which have had a stranglehold for the past 3 or 4 years, and shifting a little bit more towards the buyers. So as a seller, you're probably telling yourself right now, well, that's not what I want to hear from this real estate agent talking about the New Hampshire market. And just so you're clear, it is still a good time to be a seller, but it's not as easy as it was back in 2022, where you could just list any old house, do zero marketing, and that house would receive 20 offers and go $150,000 to $100,000 above ask. That is kind of completely gone now. I'm not seeing that very much. I do see some houses that are going 20 to 40 grand over, but again, those are either homes that are priced right at market value and they're either in a really desirable location or just a really nice house, or they're homes that they're purposely listing lower than market value just so they create a crowd and create multiple offers. So it looks like it's selling a ton over, but it's more selling for where if you actually listed it there, it still would have sold, just not with as many offers. So I'm going to be going over 2 important things that you want to pay attention to as a seller. And the first one is going to be price. And as I mentioned again, it's not as easy as it was a few years ago where you could just list at whatever price you wanted and still get way over that when you receive offers. That has kind of gone away. The way I'm seeing it is when people list higher than market value, a lot of times these properties are starting to sit on the market. So if you're a seller, I would highly suggest when you're going about your pricing strategy, you'll probably want to go right at market value or even a little bit of below, because again, that's what's going to be drawing the crowds now, because people aren't really going to go spend the time to look at an overpriced listing if there's ones that are a better fit for them that are a lower price point. And the first objection I always hear from sellers when I tell them to list at market value or below is, well, I'm selling my house and I want to get the most money possible, so why would we start with a low number? And there's 2 things I always tell the sellers when this comes about. The first one is, I'm a real estate agent. I get paid when I sell the house. I get paid more money when I sell the house for more money. So trust me, I'm not trying to tell you to list lower for my benefit. Like, I get paid more if you get paid more. So trust me, I'm trying to get the most money you can, but again, if you list high, you're gonna hurt yourself more than if you list low most of the time. Because again, like I mentioned, if you list high, that house is starting to see more of those ones actually sit on the market for longer than 7 days. I've seen 14 days, I've seen a month, I've seen over a month now with these high listings. So there's 2 situations that usually come about when you list high and the property isn't moving. And both of them are not ideal situations. The first one is people will notice, hey, this has been on for 20, 25 days. Let's go take a look at it. They're probably flexible on price because guess what? The buyers know houses aren't sitting on the market that long if they're worth that much money. So you're either going to start having some showings come about and receive some low offers, which no seller ever likes, or you're going to have to initiate a price drop at some point. And in this market, you're starting to see them more, but price drops still have kind of a bad stigma from the last few years because there was none. So when there is a price drop, buyers kind of see a little red flag because they either think something's wrong with the property, or they think if it was worth what it was listed for, it would have sold. So they almost like disregard it when a price drop happens because they think something happened to the house. So you kind of want to avoid that, and that's why starting with the initial price is so important. And when you're listing low, especially in this market, I mean, like the worst case scenario is you're going to receive an offer at list price. But in this market, listing low is the way to really create buzz on a listing. So if you create that buzz, you draw in a crowd. Chances are with listing low, you're going to create more people to come see it, and you're going to create more offers when that time comes for you to actually review, and then you can choose which offer works best for you. Where if you're listing high and you only receive 1 offer in 2 weeks, well, do you take it even if it's not that good? You don't really want to be in that position. I'd rather have a few to choose from than one that you're kind of stuck with. And now I want to touch on commissions really quickly because recently New Hampshire has changed their laws because of an NAR settlement. The National Association of Realtors have changed it so that we can no longer advertise if you as a seller are offering a commission. Now, a lot of people got this confused thinking that sellers were just not going to be able to offer a commission or wouldn't offer a commission. And that's not the case. It's just we can't advertise it on the MLS. We can advertise it on social media, email, our newsletter, everywhere except the MLS, we can say that you're offering a commission. And a lot of sellers are thinking, well, it's going to become the way of real estate. I'm just not going to offer commission. But in this time right now, we literally just had this take place July 15th for New Hampshire, and nationally is August 15th. So with this, you're going to want to, nothing's really changing on the seller side. Everything since this change that I've went and showed buyers, all the listings have still been offering a commission. It's just the fact that now as a buyer's agent, you have to just ask the listing agent right away, hey, are you offering a buyer's commission, so that you know. So again, if you're a seller, it's still fully normal to offer commission to the listing agent and to the buyer's agent. And I feel like if you don't offer it to the buyer's agent, you're almost shooting yourself in the foot a little bit, because now that cost is on the buyer, where, technically the buyer's still paying for it because they're the one buying the house, giving you the money to pay everyone else. Anyways, if you don't offer it, they have to come up with the percentage, which either means that in their offer, they're going to try to write it into it so that they say seller to give 2% in concessions to buyer, and then the buyer will use that to pay the buyer's agent, or they're just not going to be able to pay as much as a purchase price because they're going to have to keep some cash on hand to actually pay the real estate agent. So I feel like in this moment right now, nothing's really changed other than the law. So I feel like if you're not offering it, it's just not going to be great because everyone still is. So if a buyer is contemplating on 2 listings, one being yours, and you're not offering a buyer's commission and the other one is, that might be their deciding factor to go with this house, because they don't have to worry about paying their buyer's agent because it's already included in the purchase price. And now the next thing that I want to touch on, the 2 big things I wanted to touch on were price and this next thing. Commission I just want to throw in there because, again, it's a recent change. Nothing has really changed on the seller side. It's more on the buyer side. And this next thing is honestly probably the number 1 thing that you want, but I put it number 2. But if you get this thing, you're going to get the price right. And that is getting yourself a great agent. Because you want to find an agent that's actually keeping up with the times. Someone that's actually going to market your listing in other ways than just putting it into the MLS, letting the MLS distribute it to Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, all that stuff. Actually find someone that has a social media presence that's going to be able to make a post or video that'll be able to reach a ton of people and draw even more interest into your listing. You want someone that's actually going to really take pride in marketing it. Let their creativity go. Let them go shoot a video in the house. So many sellers, I feel object and feel uncomfortable with videos of their homes, which I get it. It's your house, but it's also you're selling the house. It's not going to be your house, so why does it matter if there's a video of it? That I never really understood, because so many people look for houses online. So many people find homes through social media now, and that's their first touch point, and then they go look at Zillow to go see the actual specifics of the listing, but what drew them in was a video of the property. Chances are, if you get yourself a great agent, they're going to hold an open house for your property, because right now with those recent changes with NAR in the New Hampshire law, one of the things that they did was now, before a buyer gets to see a house, they have to sign some form of representation with a buyer's agent, except at open houses. So I feel like open houses are going to become even more popular, because those people that don't want to sign a contract, don't want to talk to an agent to just go view a house, are going to be going to even more open houses than they used to go to, because now they know, hey, I can go to an open house and not have to sign a contract with a real estate agent. So I feel like that one's going to be even more popular than it was in the past. So despite the market shifting a little bit away from sellers and a little bit more favorable towards buyers, doesn't mean it's a bad time to be a seller. It's still a great time. Technically, we're still very much in a seller's market. It's just more the fact that people can't list at an extravagant number and still get multiple offers. Sellers are coming down a little bit more to earth where they're listed at that market value or even a little bit below because they understand that's how you draw interest. So if you get yourself a great agent, you actually listen to their recommendations, listen to what they're going to do with pricing strategy, holding an open house, marketing your property on their social medias, on other websites, through their newsletter, all that good stuff, your property's going to sell for a good price. You're going to get the number you want because, again, New Hampshire home prices right now, just because it's a shifting market, New Hampshire home prices are still basically at an all-time high. I think June's median sale was $550,000 and July went to $540,000. So it is shifting a little bit, but still we're at basically highest we've ever seen in New Hampshire for a median sales price. So if you're looking to sell a house in New Hampshire, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help walk you through how I would go about listing your house, how to get the best number for you. And don't get scared if I say we're going to list a little bit low, because we're just trying to draw some interest in. So I hope this video was pretty informative. There are some recent changes that it's going to shift how the market works. Nothing's really shifting on the seller side, but of course it's shifting on the buyer side, so it's going to have some effect with selling, but not a ton. So just make sure you get yourself a great agent, listen to what they're saying, take it in, understand what you're doing, and get the price you want for your house. So I hope this was good. Drop a like and a comment, and I will catch you guys next week.